There's no doubt that attending a triathlon training camp can be an amazing experience. After all, what's better than swimming, cycling and running in the sunshine with your buddies? So the problem is, if you don't choose your triathlon training camp wisely, you may end up regretting it. So in this video, we're going to take you through the top 10 considerations that you can think about to make sure that you choose the correct triathlon training camp for you. Hi, I'm Dave Knight. I'm a professional swimming and triathlon coach based in the UK. I'm also the founder and head coach of Do3 Coaching and Events. And over the years, we've helped thousands of athletes just like you to reach your swimming, cycling and running goals. Okay, so you've made the big decision to invest some money to jet off somewhere exotic to go for your triathlon training camp. Now, the next problem you have is, how do you decide which camp to book onto? Because not all camps are the same. So this video is all about giving you some considerations, some things for you to think about to make sure that you can book the right camp for you, to make sure you have a really good training week and the week that you deserve. So some training camps are designed specifically for athletes to smash themselves and work themselves as hard as they possibly can for a week. Some camps actively promote that that's what they're about. If that's for you, then that's great. But what you want to get from a training camp is you want to make sure that you get a good quality training week in, and you can still go home and train afterwards. You're not going to need 2 weeks to recover from the massive effort that you've put in. So depending on what you're looking for in a training camp, these are the top considerations that I want you to think about to make sure that you make the right choices for you. Okay, so let's get on with the 10 things that you need to consider. Also, if you stay until the end, we will tell you how you can get hold of our triathlon training camp kit list. Really important to make sure that you don't forget all your gear, because nothing worse than getting on camp and realising that you've forgotten some incredibly important bit of kit. It'll drive you absolutely mad. So let's get into it. Okay, so number one, who is the camp aimed at? Some camps are aimed at more top level, higher end, elite type athletes, okay? If that's you, then that's great. If it's not you and you're looking for something a little bit more kind of beginner friendly, where you're not going to be intimidated maybe by the people that are on the camp, then have a look for that. The camp description should make it clear about who the camp is aimed at. Nothing worse than going on the wrong camp and feeling completely out of your depth. Or on the flip side, nothing worse than going on camp and realizing that everybody is beginners and you're much more kind of a higher end athlete than that. So just consider, who is the camp aimed at? Okay, so number two, what is the volume for the training week and what is the camp itinerary like? How much time are you spending swimming, cycling and running, and how does that compare to what you usually do? So if you're somebody who normally does 4 to 6 hours a week and you're going to be doing 20 to 25 hours a week, you're going to really struggle. You're going to find that really hard and too much of a jump. So you need to be sensible. Remember, this is all about you getting the most out of your training week and not breaking yourself. So the next one, what is the training camp vibe? Is it about smashing yourself until you drop, or is it more about having a training holiday? I always think the best camps are those ones that can balance that right. So good quality training, good downtime, lots of time to recover, and time to actually explore and see the location that you're at as well. So depends what you're looking for, but give that some thought. Okay, next one, are there any reviews or pictures or anything like that about the previous training camps? This is normally a really good way to find out what the camp is like and see what the vibe is like. So check them out. There should hopefully be some reviews, some comments, somewhere you can find, but to see what other people just like you have said about the camp. Okay, next one, what's the weather going to be like? If it's super hot where you're going, what you might find is that lots of the training is done in the early morning and the late afternoon. Sometimes that can work out quite well because you get lots of downtime during the day. Sometimes the weather could be the opposite. It could be a little bit changeable and actually a little bit colder than you expect. Especially if you're riding through the mountains or through the Alps or up some big hills, then it might be a bit colder than you think. So find out what the weather is like. If nothing else, then at least you'll know what kit to take. Okay, next one, what's the terrain like? Is it super hilly, super flat, or is it somewhere in between? If you're somebody that's not a huge fan of hills and you're going to the Alps, then you might find it quite difficult. Similarly, if you're somebody who is training for a long distance event, say, and you've got lots of hills involved in that and you want to make sure that you get your hill time in, then that's great. Then just make sure that you're looking at the terrain and it's what you're expecting. Also, just thinking about it, if it's super hilly, then you need to make sure you've got things like the right gearing on your bike. Okay, it's nothing worse than going to some mountains and realising you're completely wrong gears and you're not going to make it up there. So just something else for you to think about. Okay, next one, are there any workshops included? On our Do 3 training camps, we have a theory workshop and we do one-to-one swim analysis. Okay, so it's really kind of extra added benefit for the campers to go through that kind of stuff. So check it out, see if you've got anything else. It's not just about training, it's about maximizing yourself as a triathlete and seeing how much extra you can squeeze out of yourself. So sometimes the workshops are really, really valuable, so check that out. Okay, so next one, what's the accommodation like? Most venues will have pools and gyms and that kind of thing, but it's always good to find out. Also, most places will base their prices based on 2 people sharing. So if you're somebody who likes your own space, it might be a bit uncomfortable if you get there and you realise that you've got to share with somebody. So make sure you check that out as well. If you do go on your own or you don't want to share, you want to have your own room, then be prepared to pay a single supplement. That's really common too. So what's the coach to athlete ratio like? It's really important that camps don't cram too many athletes on. So on our camps, we usually find that 1 coach to every 8 athlete works really well, because it means that each athlete gets a decent amount of quality time. And if they've got questions or some one-to-one stuff that needs to be done, then there's time to do that. If there's too many athletes crammed on there, then the coaches spend most of the time kind of herding athletes around and just don't have any quality time with you. So make sure you check that one out. And finally, make sure that the training camp is pitched at the right level for you and your training. Okay, so what I mean by that is, if you're in week 2 of a Ironman training program and you go on an Ironman training week, you're going to struggle. You're going to find it tough. Okay, and similarly, if you go on a camp which is more sprint focused and you're more of an athlete who wants to be going out and doing your long bricks and your long rides, you're much more kind of progressed in your training program than that, that's going to leave you frustrated too. So give that some consideration too. So there's just a few things for you to think about, and hopefully those things will help you make a really good informed choice about the training camp. And make sure you book on the right one and have an absolutely amazing time, because triathlon training camps really are things to be remembered. Absolutely amazing. We love doing triathlon training camps. Oh, and to that end, we'll put some links down to our camps down below. We have camps in Lanzarote, Thailand, sometimes we go to Switzerland, but have a look, see what we've got, and hopefully you'll find all the information that we've been talking about in our camp pages. But wherever you go, have an amazing time. Training camps are absolutely brilliant. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more great quality content just like this. Oh, and I nearly forgot your freebie. Right, so click the link down below, put your name and email in. Don't worry, we're not going to spam you, and we'll send you through your free triathlon training camp kit list to make sure that you don't forget any of your essentials. So there you have all your gear, you'll be able to choose your camp, and you'll be able to have an amazing time. See you on the next one. So if you enjoyed this video, please check out the next one, which should be up in the corner there somewhere, and we'll see you next time. Take care.